Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CFL Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And we have our first week of proper regular season football here in the CFL. And I am excited. And it's going to be a bit interesting, Rick, as our enemies for week one are Hamilton Tiger Cats. But first game of the season is the Lions Stampeders. I think we'll go in chronological order, like in the order that the games are. So they're actually interesting way that they're spacing these games out. There's 4 games going on this week because Toronto gets a bye for the first week. They get the week off. And they're actually doing one per day, starting Thursday, ending Sunday, with the first one being the BC Lions versus the Calgary Stampeders. This game is in Calgary. How are we feeling about this matchup, Rick?
I'm just pulling up these rosters. I honestly, depending on how you look at it, quarterbacks, I will give that to BC Lions. Running backs, I will give it to
Calgary.
Calgary. Wide receivers go to BC.
That's fair.
So I want to say,
Although defense, I give to Calgary as a whole.
yeah. So I mean, it all depends on
This should be a
if
decently close game.
I mean, besides Bynum and Rourke, you replace Rourke with Adams Jr.
Like, do you mean
No,
Burnham?
no, I'm like comparing like last year's team to
Are you talking
this
about
year's team.
Burnham though? Burnham and Rourke?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. If you take them out and Butler, and you have a rookie running back Adams, and you still have the same receiving core except for the minus that one
Burnham.
receiver. Yeah, I honestly think I'm gonna have to take BC on this one over Calgary.
Interesting you say that because the thing is that I definitely see how BC might be having some offensive upsides. I definitely think that Vernon Adams Jr. is going to be a good quarterback for them. I don't think he's going to play as well as Rourke did, but I think he's going to be a good fit for them. The thing is that I don't know the kind of issues that BC might have with this Calgary defense. And with Calgary, as much as their offense isn't to the same standard as the Lions, the question is, for me, is the BC Lions offense more capable of scoring points against the Calgary defense than the Calgary offense is against the BC defense? And that's where I actually think Calgary has a slight edge in the sense of that BC's defense is all over the place. I mean, we had just seen within the last, 24, 48 hours, some of their defensive pieces implode on Twitter, you know? And it's one of those things where there obviously was some sort of tension going on. There was guys not showing up to practice. So I'm not so sure yet with the Lions how fully unified as a team they are. And maybe they all were unified and it was just Gongbo. That's entirely possible. But the point is that there was at least some sort of tension in that locker room going into this week. So I'm actually going to take Calgary here. I think Jake Mayer is going to put on a good performance. I think Jake Mayer is fully ready to take on the reins from Bo Levi Mitchell. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the same way that we thought that Dane Evans was ready to take on the reins from Jeremiah Mazzoli, but I again could be wrong here. I'm gonna go with the Calgary Stampeders, but I'm predicting a very close game. I'm predicting under a touchdown difference here between these two teams. But I completely get you going with BC. Now our next game of the week is the Hamilton Tiger Cats versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, arguably the two best teams in the league facing off in week one. I will be at this game. I'm excited for this game. How are you feeling, Rick? I want to know from a Cat fan perspective how you're feeling.
Listen, we all know how this is gonna go. You're gonna go for Winnipeg, and I'm going for
Oh,
Hamilton.
of course we are. Of course. That's the thing. I can't I when my Bombers are playing like this, it's hard for me to bet against them. I actually, funny enough though, last year I actually said that the Red Blacks were gonna beat Winnipeg in week 2 because of how good Mazzoli played week 1. but that was, before the Red Blacks kind of imploded.
The
But
the thing that I want to say for this game, I'm saying, like, because this could go either way.
oh, it very much could. I want to see how much trouble the Bombers have with that D line from Hamilton. I'm scared of that D line. That D line concerns me, especially since one of the areas that the Bombers took a little bit of a hit was in the O line. So when I think of that D line, it's like the good thing here is that this could go one of two ways. Either this could cause so many problems for Zach Collaros, or this could be the best thing that ever happens for Zach Collaros. And what I mean by that is Zach Collaros in the pocket is good. Zach Collaros scrambling is somehow better. I don't know why, but when he's under pressure, he just happens to connect on those throws a little bit more. So I'm curious to see that. And also, this is going to be our first real taste of this fresh, delicious receiving core without Kenny Lawler. Keep in mind, Kenny Lawler is not in. And that's a whole basket of worms on its own. But the thing is that, so I'm obviously taking the Bombers. You're obviously taking the Ticats. I think the main problem for the Bombers will be that Ticats D-line. What will be the main problem for the Ticats caused by the Bombers?
So here's how I drew this up, okay? Their quarterback will just say they're split equal. Because you guys have Augustine.
Are we really splitting Zach Collaros and Bo Levi Mitchell even?
Well, because I mean, if you figure out how well, okay, without the Grey Cups, like 1 and 2 in the league,
I accidentally left my rings downstairs. I was gonna put them on the second you said that. I was gonna like Green Lantern this. You know what I mean?
So here's the other thing. If you take Oliveira and Augustine and you combine that into one person,
that is the most terrifying running back you will ever find.
But I mean, that's like head to head with James Butler based on last year's numbers. You guys have the edge on receivers.
Yep.
We have the edge on defensive, not by much, just a little bit on defensive line.
I say you have more of an edge on the defensive tackle position than the defensive end position. I will say that. I think the Bombers have the slight edge on the defensive end. I think D tackle is where you guys win that.
But here's the thing for me.
Willie Jefferson and Jackson Jeffcoat, like.
But I mean, as far as linebackers go, you guys have Malik Clements.
Yep.
And Big Hill. We have Lawrence, Thurman, and Edwards.
Yeah. And then, of course, in short yardage, expect to see Big Hill fly over the pile, as he always does every short yardage. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. It's actually become a meme where the second there's short yardage, you'll just see, like, Big Hill, like, boing, like, just, like, fly over.
Where I think you guys have the edge over us.
Yep.
Like, the kickers are the same. I don't know about punters, but I think that the
punting is a big question mark for both teams.
The big question mark where there's a big gap is defensive backs and corners. Yeah. I think that's where, because I mean, we do have
Winston Rose is injured.
The only thing with us is we have Elliott from Stampeders, we have Richard Leonard, and we have Lawrence Woods. The only downside is we have a rookie at the left corner back.
That's fair. Now, one thing I am curious about is how. So I feel like the Ticats are going to do a really good job at stopping the run game. I think they're going to do a really good job stopping the run game. I think that's where the Bombers are going to decide that the throwing game is going to be where the strength needs to happen. Now, the question I have here is for a guy like Bo Levi Mitchell, how is he going to deal with a guy like Willie Jefferson? You know, how is he going to play under that pressure? Now, obviously, he's gone through his whole career and he's gotten somewhat used to playing under pressure. However, it's one of those things where, you know, as you get a bit older, it's one of those things where your scrambling's not as quick. There's other factors to that. So Bo Levi Mitchell was always a guy who, he had a decent scramble, but he was always best in that pocket. That's kind of a big difference on the quarterback side of things between him and Caleros, where Caleros somehow is better when he's scrambling. But Levi Mitchell does his best when he's in that pocket. So I'm curious to see how many issues a guy like Willie Jefferson or Jackson Jeffcoat is able to cause that. But overall, I think we've spent a good amount of time on this game. I think, yes. And everyone knows that I'm picking Bombers and you're picking Ticats. We're not changing each other's minds on that.
The only difference is I say this game's a lot closer than any other game, and I say it's within 3 points.
That's fair. I'm willing to say that too. As I think the Ticats, when it comes to East, are the team to beat. But let's go into the next game as we have this Saturday. We have the Ottawa Redblacks against the Montreal Alouettes. The battle of the question marks.
Part one.
Part one, yeah. No, that's true. Although arguably more question marks than the other one, because the other one is one question mark and one certainty.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing that I was doing research on earlier, is that Mazzoli is not 100% healthy yet.
Nick Arbuckle, it's your time to shine, baby.
Well, I mean,
turn that ping pong into success. Braylon Addison said it himself.
I mean, I was looking at the injury reports, and there's nothing for Ottawa yet.
I see.
So, I mean, it's Mazzoli may be questioned. I think what it's going to come down to are the receivers for this game.
For Ottawa, at least. But then I guess also for the Alouettes. But the thing I also think it's going to come down to is how good is that Ottawa Redblacks defense going to do at stopping a guy like William Stanback? Are they going to be able to shut down that run game? Because that's the thing. Even if Montreal's receiving game is like Ellingson, where it's just a lot of those short, 10 yards, 5 yards, whatever it is, if they're able to throw Stanback in there, punch him for 6 yards, and then throw to Ellingson and get like another 5 or 6, or even another 10, who knows? They could press that field. So the thing is that with all the pieces that the Red Blacks have, with it now, I think they have the benefit on that offensive line of having a guy like Drew Desjardins. He was with the Bombers. He was excellent. He got signed by the New England Patriots, spent a little bit of time up there, gone back now to the CFL. And the Red Blacks then also got back Devontae Dedmon from the Atlanta Falcons. So two guys who have sniffed the NFL there, going back into that Red Blacks team. So this 100%. So I'll put it this way: if Mazzoli doesn't play, Montreal wins this. If Mazzoli plays, flip a coin. And it's funny. I don't think this will be necessarily a close game or that close of a game. It's just, I don't know. Someone's going to win by over 7. I'm not sure who it is, though.
The only thing that I have, and I hate to bring the voodoo doll out for this, if you remember, Steinbach got injured week 1 last year.
Week 2.
Oh, was it week 2?
It was week 2, week 1 the year prior.
Okay, so can he make it through week 1 healthy?
It's you know what it is? Every game he plays, it's going to be that's going to be the question. It's like, all right, is this the day that Stanback goes down? And that's the thing. It's one of those things where if Stanback's like Montreal was able to overperform without Stanback. Imagine what they can do if they actually keep Stanback healthy. They could possibly be a really decent team because, like I said, past Hamilton, the East is like is filled with question marks. You can put any of these teams anywhere, and it all just depends on their quarterbacks, team healthiness, all that. And it's one of those things where it's not like BC or Calgary, where even if one guy goes down, they're still beating the Riders or the Elks. You know what I mean? That one piece of bad luck changes the standings in the East.
Yeah. The benefits that I will say of week 1 having the bye is that
for the Argonauts
is that Toronto can get game film on all 3 East teams.
That's true.
and no one can get game film on them for week 2.
Yeah, no, and game film is huge. They'll be watching that Ticats Bombers game as they play the Ticats the next week, but we won't get into that yet. So, final predictions for week 1: Red Blacks, Alouettes. I'm actually going to be going with the Alouettes here. I think simply because of the fact that Mazzoli's a question mark, I think the odds are in the Alouettes' favor here. Simply because if Mazzoli is 100% guaranteed healthy, I think you flip a coin. But the thing is that if it's now less than that chance because now we don't know if he's playing. So because of that, I have to go with the Alouettes because I just see the odds in their favor in that regard. As for the Red Blacks to win, they need Mazzoli healthy and then Mazzoli performing. They need 2 things. With the Alouettes, they just need Fajardo performing because they know he's healthy. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with the Alouettes here.
Okay, so I'm gonna go bold move.
Yeah. Can you go Red Blacks?
I'm gonna go with Ottawa.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
we're just not agreeing on anything today, are we?
Well, no, because if you pick if you pick the same teams, it's gonna be like, okay, well, what fun is that gonna be?
What fun? Well, we're gonna both agree on this last one here.
So the way that I'm picking Ottawa is I say Mazzoli plays, and I say, let me see here.
Fajardo's inconsistent.
No, Santos Knox, and Molden the 4th will shut down Steinbach. That's how Ottawa wins.
Fair enough. But let's go into our last game of the week. Sunday, we have the Saskatchewan Roughriders facing the Edmonton Elks in Edmonton's home opener. Now, the question is, do people have to pay for their tickets for their next game at home in Edmonton? The answer, no, they don't. I have the Roughriders beating the Elks in Edmonton, and it's one of those things where I'm not going to lie, as someone who hates the Roughriders, it'd be so funny to see Edmonton win this game, and us Bomber fans would have a field day on this. I don't see the evidence. I don't see them having enough. However, I will say, Edmonton, if you're going to win a game, this is your chance. Like, this is going to be one of your best chances to finally get that win. So, because think about it. Like, Edmonton, because whoever Edmonton's going to, if Edmonton's going to get a win, it's either going to be against Saskatchewan or whoever flops out in the East. Rick, what are you smiling about there?
Because here's the thing, and I know how much this is gonna blow your mind.
You're gonna fucking choose Edmonton.
And here's why.
I was kidding.
No, but here's the thing though. Is Saskatchewan has Whittaky. Schaefer Baker's injured, so they don't have him. They have Linnaeus and Samuel Almas.
Yeah.
That's all they have. Walker. Whereas I just think that you'll get more out of Dunbar, Eugene Lewis, Mitchell, and Karen more than you will Saskatchewan. The only way that I hate to say it, but Harris is getting up there in age, and I think Taylor Cornelius with his leg movement will outduel Harris.
And that's the thing. The reason I have Saskatchewan winning is not because I think they're the better team necessarily. It's not. I actually think that Edmonton should win this game. It's just the mystic voodoo of not winning games at home has surrounded the Elks and has killed them in games they should win. And this is pure gut feeling. And so, like I said, I'm not saying that it's the smart choice. I'm just saying I'm a hockey player. I'm superstitious. I'm superstitious as shit. So, because of that, I have the Roughriders winning. So, I think that pretty much clears up all I want. Is there anything else that you wanted to put in about that?
The one thing I will mention is we all picked the opposite teams of the other person. So either someone's going to be going 2-2, or one of us is going to be going 0-4 after this week.
No one's going. There's no 3-1.
Watch it be
3-1, and it's you get you get 3, and then the one I get is the Bombers beating the Ticats. That's what's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. You're gonna go 3-1, and I'm just gonna have the Bombers win.
Or you go 3-1, and I get the Ticats.
No. That's not happening. But let me know what is happening in the comments section down below. Make sure you guys join the CFL Discord. We are both active in there, active participants, if you will. Make sure you guys follow the CFL Twitter, the CFL Central Twitter account, as well as the CFL Central Instagram account. Links to that in the description below. So make sure you guys check that stuff out. Leave comments below who you think is winning, and whether you think Rick is wrong. He definitely is. So, without further ado, I guess that's the end of it. So until next time.